Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Black Forest coming to you with another market analysis video. This morning, we're going to be looking at the British Pound USD. But before we get started to break down this currency pair, we have to say that this video is for education purposes only. This is not for financial advice. But we all know why you guys are here. You guys are here to find good, credible Forex content that can help improve your abilities as traders and to help put a little bit of extra money in your pocket. So with that being said, let's go ahead and break this down. All right, before we get into the technical analysis, let's discuss the fundamental analysis of each currency and what's been happening, okay? So with the JP, with the Great British Pound, okay, we had a lot of news come out over the overnight between 2 o'clock in the morning. We had a lot of positive news come out. Some of it not so positive, nothing that is too bad. It's either higher than what they predicted was going to be and lower than previous, or it wasn't what they was predicting it was going to be, but it was better than previous. So that means that the GDP did have overall good positive news come out. Okay. Now, this is the thing about the GDP. Even though we're starting to see a pickup in the positive news, it's still suffering from way worse inflation than what we are dealing with in the States. And its gas prices are way higher than we are seeing here, also in the States as well. And also, their closest trading partner, the EU, is having a lot of problems because of the destabilization of the European continent from the Russia-Ukrainian war. That's affecting it. Also, the EU, which is affecting the UK, because when your closest trading partner is having economic problems, you will have economic problems as well too. Okay, and then we have to see how the UK government is going to take a more aggressive stance towards battling its inflation. Okay. So even though we have some positive news overall come out about the GDP, we could see an uptake in its strength temporarily before it starts to fade out and go into the overall weakness that's still hovering over it. Okay. Now, also, what may also give it another catalyzation of strength is how positive the peace talks it is between Russia and Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine is finally sat down at the table and starting to have, real peace talks that look like they're going to result into some type of ceasefire, some type of cease in hostilities, or some type of treaty put in place that both sides can finally agree upon, which we will see an uptake in strength in the major three European currencies, which is the GDP, the euro, and the CHF. Okay. Now let's discuss what's happening with the USD. The USD has had a lot of positive news come out about it this week. Did have some negative news, but we're having more positive news than negative news. We do have some news coming out around 8:30 to this morning Eastern time. So we're going to have to see how these things play out going into the latter part of this trading week. And it does look like the policies, measures, and economic policies, measures, and interventions that the Fed and the U.S. government has put in place to combat inflation is combated aggressively and very expeditiously as well. Okay. And also, we're starting to see a decrease in gas prices, which is good because a decrease in gas prices means that Americans have more available money to spend in the stores. The increased spending in stores drives our economy to grow. That growth in our economy strengthens the USD currency. Okay, so these are all the factors that's affecting the fundamentals of each currency. All right, now let us discuss what is currently happening on the charts. Okay, so as we said yesterday, we were going to have a pickup just like we did here, and price did. Let's get here we go. Yes, it's always good to break down from the 4 hour. Okay, so we did have a pickup just like we said. Price came down, picked up some more, and price keeps coming down. And this is because this pickup is basically okay. Um, the news was good, but we're still kind of weak overall, and USD is gaining strength. So this is what we're seeing actually happen right here. Okay, so we could Okay, so we're gonna possibly see another drop to this area here or as low as this area here before we start to pick up in price again. Or it can be a situation where we pick up to this general area here once more, then price starts to come down to this area here before we continue to go up. More likely in this scenario is the one that just stated. We're going to pick up in price to either about this area here or even here before we continue to go back down to here. Okay, so this does look like it's trying to make some direction, but really for the most part, what you're having is a range with a lot of extremes. Okay, with this being the lower extreme and this being the high extreme and this being the medium. Okay, so this does not look like an ideal currency pair to trade because the only thing you're going to get if the price does drop is only going to drop this but so far here. And if price does pick up, it's only going to pick up but so much. And this is going to be due to each of the inherent fundamental. This is going to be in each to the inherent current fundamentals with each currency. Okay, only way we can kind of see drastically any change in the charts is if the USD tends to lose all its strength from having an inverse in fundamentals, in which we will see a strong push up. And then on top of that, if let's say if the peace talks just start going south between the Russia and Ukraine, and they're like, look, we're just going to get it on again, then we can see the picture of it being down. But being that we are having positive peace talks, we did have a lot of positive news come out about the GDP, and also we have a growing strength in the US dollar. It's almost looking like we're going to be playing ping pong. So it looks like once we get to around this general area here, we're going to be dropping down in price. And anytime we get to this general area here, we're going to also be picking up in price. Now, personally, I don't like to trade ranges because I like to trade momentum because you make more money trading momentum than trading ranges. But you know, some people like it because it's a little easy to trade. Because if you get here, you sell. You get here and buy. But once them fundamentals tend to shift on you, and it takes you one way or another, all that stuff goes out the window. Okay, so it does look like we're going to get to around this area here before we go back down. We could go as far as this down in this area here before we continue to go back up. It looks like we're going to start having a ping pong effect going down. Now, if the GDP just starts to become much weaker as the USD becomes stronger, and this is all just due to economic fundamentals, not solely related to geopolitical events between Russia and Ukraine, we can start to see a move heading down towards the short side. But for right now, it does look like every time we're in this general area here, we're going to pick up to about as high as here. And then once we get to the general area here, we can drop down as low as prices here. Okay. Hope this information is helpful for you guys. Happy trading.